Hello, my name is Roger Wilson, and I thought I'd do an introductory video as to why we decided to go full-time RVing. For many years, I worked many hours, sometimes till 2 a.m., 8 a.m. till 2 a.m., and I love my children, but when they would come ask to spend time with me, I had to say no. I mean, what's a man to do? Quit supporting his family? And it killed me. Every time I said no to my kids, it really bothered me. Here's who I love the most, and I don't have time to spend time with them. And so that was my motivation going full-time. One of the things we chose to do is we sold everything we had and we turned our house into a rental, and that helps pay for our lifestyle as we travel around. And some may be asking why we chose to sell everything, and we chose to sell everything because it just seemed silly to spend $2,000 a month for us to have stuff that we're not using, and it felt selfish to ask family members to take time out of their day on a weekly basis to go check on our house. And so we sold everything, and we used the proceeds from selling everything to help pay for the expenses associated with getting a new RV and a new truck. And we then turned our house into something that produced passive income to help pay for our new lifestyle. And so that's why we chose to sell everything. And you know, many people say that's the hardest part, is selling everything, and it really was. My wife is one of the most adventurous women I've ever met, and she really struggled with it. The idea that we bought a couch for $800 or $1,200 and sold it for $150, it really bothered her. And cutting your lifestyle down to 1%, you know, you can take 1% with you, was extraordinarily difficult. You know, my son loved his toys, and he got to keep quite a few of them, but he probably had to sell more than half. The RV we chose a fifth wheel. It's a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and that way my son could have his own space. In fact, right there is his bedroom, and he's inside watching TV right now as I do this. And so it was important for us to find something with 2 bedrooms so that he could have some of his own space, and us too. We chose to find a used fifth wheel to avoid all the depreciation, and I'm glad we did. Learning to tow a fifth wheel is difficult. Not so much things like backing up and turning radiuses. That I kind of had, but I really struggled with the height of the vehicle. We are really tall. We're over 13 foot tall. It's about like driving a semi. And I have and probably will continue to occasionally hit tree branches. Sometimes it can't even be helped, and that's been very difficult for me. So I'm glad we have a used RV. This RV was $27,000, which was a lot cheaper than buying a new one. And we immediately put $3,000 into things like fixing brakes and putting in a new camera and putting in a new sofa. The old sofa had dry rotted. This particular RV was used one time and then stored for 5 years, and so a lot of stuff had dry rotted. And so we replaced all the dry rotted stuff, put new brakes and tires and camera to bring it up to date, and we just felt that spending $3,000 or even if we had to spend $5,000 bringing this up to date, it was a lot more financially sound than buying a new RV. And if in a year or two we still want to live in an RV and travel around the United States, maybe we'll buy a new one. But for now, I think this was a really good decision for us. We also bought a used truck. You know, when you decide to own a fifth wheel, you have to buy a very expensive, very large truck and a fifth wheel. And if you're not careful, you'll spend $160,000, maybe $200,000 doing that. And that, to me, is $1,600 of passive income, and it's something that I just wasn't willing to do. And so used for us was the way to go. All the